and they were actually looking at water as the commodity. And we actually did get to know that there is quite a lot that happens in this industry. We have water cartels as well that make it difficult for different people across the country and the continent to access water as a commodity, and that has actually created a lot of gaps, a lot of loopholes that need to be addressed. But in studio today we've got David Githendu, who is the general manager for Grundfos, and they specifically deal with supply of water equipment and a whole lot of other solutions as well regarding this industry. So he's now with us in studio to tell us more about what exactly is happening, what are the latest technologies that are being implemented in the water industry. Thank you so much for joining us, David.
Thank you very much, Joy.
All right, so for everybody out there who knows about Grundfos, or at least have purchased equipment from Grundfos, they probably know that it is one thing. They only get water supply equipment. But what more can you tell us about Grundfos?
Thank you, Joe. First of all, I'll just start by giving you a little bit about us, Grundfos. Grundfos, our origin is Danish. We are a Danish company, and we are actually the largest manufacturer of pumps in the world.
Right.
With headquarters obviously in Denmark, in a small town, used to be small, called Bjerringbro. But from there, Grundfos has now got a global footprint all over the continents, and in Africa particularly. Our headquarters is in South Africa, but now we have recently established an office in Kenya, which is looking after the whole of Eastern Central Africa. And we had about 2 weeks ago a ceremony at our new premises in industrial area. So Grundfos is here to support the Kenyan market. Of course, our products have been retailed by our distributors here since 1966, supporting agriculture, water supply, industry, and of course building services.
All right. And so when you talk about the main areas that you deal with, do you just deal with water supply equipment, or does it also get attached to building equipment?
We cover quite a wide area of water supply applications. Of course, water supply itself, which means delivering water to communities, to Nairobi Water, to Kisumu, but also dealing with building applications. And that's an area where Grundfos is very strong. We are supplying products. Whenever you see a tall building, of course, water doesn't get up there without being pumped. So you need all kinds of pumps to supply water, pumps to get water that is dirty out of the building, pumps to circulate water. For example, if it's commercial applications like hotels, you want to go to your room and get a hot shower, you need a pump for that. So we have all sorts of applications. And also when it comes to monitoring the performance of the systems in the buildings, we also have products that are focused on those kind of applications.
All right. So when you look at water in itself, it is a commodity as much as it is a need, and that is an immediate need that we can say we cannot do without. But how do we ensure sustainable water supply in a country like Kenya, where we've got very many cartels that are making it difficult for Kenyans to access water?
One of the biggest challenges for water suppliers or growing cities like Nairobi is actually just to scale up the infrastructure to be able to cope with the demand that is occasioned by the growing populations.
Right.
So what the challenge here is that you are supplying water as the service provider, and you are not able to get revenue for all the water. Some of this is being tapped by cartels, as you say, and that means the consumers, number one, cannot guarantee what is the quality of the water, and number two, they fetch the water at extremely high prices. You might find, for example, what you and I are paying for a liter of water, someone in the informal settlements in Kibera or in Kawangware or places like that is probably paying 10 or 20 times what we are paying.
Right.
And that compounds the problem, because then it becomes more and more difficult for water supply provider, number one, to get revenue, but also for the communities to pay.
All right. So what new technologies are you coming up with as a company that deals with water supply equipment and applications to make it easier for this category of people who tend to be intentionally denied the right to access water?
What Grundfos has done, and I must say that one of the culture that we have in Grundfos is always to keep up ahead of the technology. We were the first company to introduce the borehole pump in stainless steel. But now what Grundfos has come up with is a water dispenser that is basically launched on a smart card. So you have more or less what you would call a water ATM machine. And this ATM machine operates on a web-based water management system, and that is linked to the mobile network. That means that you get a water card, which is equivalent to your airtime card, and you go to your mobile service provider, for example, Safaricom in this market, and you load credit into your card, and you go to your dispenser, and in the dispenser you already have a fixed rate of purchasing water. So for example, you will have maybe half a shilling per liter.
What details does the card carry? A phone number, or does it have a specific serial number?
It has a serial number. And so what you do is that using your card, which is basically the customer card, you go to your service provider who has got vendors, and they will load credit to you, just exactly that, like the way you have M-Pesa vendors who will load credit to you. And then with that water credit, you can go to your dispenser, and you can dispense exactly how much water that you need.
All right.
That ensures that you get the right quality of water, and obviously the water provider gets the revenue.
All right. And how many of these dispensers have you so far disbursed or supplied to different companies across?
We recently introduced this. And we already have a pilot project that we did with the Nairobi Water Company.
Right.
We also have supplied this in Uganda, and we also have supplied quite a few in West Africa. I must say that this is actually the second version of this product, because we already did pilot studies with the first version, which has now been improved, and this has now been made more widely available. So this is a very recent development, and you will be seeing the upscaling of these units going into several water supply companies in Kenya and also in Africa.
All right. Well, thank you very much, David. We do appreciate the time taken to come talk to us about Grundfos and what exactly you are doing to change the ways in which we access water. Now they have the water dispensers that are currently in circulation around Nairobi County, I guess, to start with, and across the country. They're meant to be taking this as well across the counties to make sure that people who cannot access water, especially those of them who are affected by cartels, can be able to do so and have clean water, not just water, but clean water.